Alexa, the resident ooky spooky girly, and today we're diving back into hidden alien facts. I know I've mentioned it before, but I have a theory that the USA, specifically the government agencies and NASA, have some sort of a chokehold over other countries that makes it easier for them to cover up stories from around the world, which is why finding true alien facts is so freaking hard. Let me know, do you agree or disagree with my theory? If you don't, that's a-okay. I'll see if I can't change your mind by the end of today. I'm kind of a storytelling kind of girl, so while technically today is about facts, I'll be telling them in the way I know best, through presenting stories of sightings that have been suppressed in some way or another. Number 5, an alien body. Yep, kicking today off with a corpse. Go figure. Do you expect anything less? This tale takes place in Russia, and while I don't exactly recommend physically trying to travel there right now for, reasons, we shall take this trip virtually. Eugenia Popova of Petrovadovsk City first reported in 2011 that she had been keeping a frozen alien body in a refrigerator for a couple of years, just casually. I do have a couple of questions. Did she keep it next to her food? Was it a spare fridge? Did it smell? Allegedly, she found it next to her summer house, so I suppose we can assume it was a fridge that wasn't used as much? On the original day that she discovered the body, Eugenia claimed that she was disturbed by a terrible noise that shook her from her sleep, describing it as deafening, screeching, and overpowering. She rushed outdoors and came across the boiling hot alien remains lying next to metal fragments. The creature was between 40 to 50 centimeters long, had a big head, mouth, and orbits, and was wearing a one-piece garment of some sort. 2 days after going public with her story, Eugenia was visited by some people who confiscated the body for the purpose of investigation, and according to their words, took it to the Karelian Research Center of the Russian Academy of Sciences. However, employees of the research center who were interviewed later said that they had never heard of the discovery. I'm sensing an all too familiar government cover-up here. How about you folks at home? Honestly, if the photos weren't as convincing as they are, I probably wouldn't have included it in today's list, but I just couldn't tear my eyes away from how strange it looks. Number 4, Skinny Bob. Yes, I'm aware this is a controversial series of videos, but I truly believe that there's enough to believe, to prove the validity of the clips. A very curious video showed up on YouTube in 2011, showing a collection of leaked videos that allegedly shows an alien being interrogated by some government agency, possibly the KGB. So if I go missing tomorrow, y'all know why now. An alien that looks like a typical gray type entity is shown being interviewed and examined, supposedly as part of some sort of diplomatic exchange. The creature is described as being from the Zeta Reticuli star system, sent as part of an envoy to discuss matters of mutual concern. According to the videos, the aliens would be escorted by special officers and only meet with high-ranking officials. Although several aliens are claimed to have been present, the one most prominently featured has been given the nickname Skinny Bob. The alien appears as a very thin, slouched over figure with an oversized bald head, slit-like mouth, large eyes that seem expressive and blink, and claw-like hands. There was apparently a whole series of interviews conducted with the creature between 1942 and 1969, although only a few clips have managed to get leaked out. The most well-known clip simply shows Skinny Bob sitting at a table, apparently in a telepathic interview, after which we see footage of the alien from head to toe, showing its disproportionately long arms and overall build. After that, there was a shot of it within a pool of some sort of liquid where it supposedly slept. According to the videos, the aliens were often filmed without their knowledge or agreement, with document 072/E supposedly describing an incident in 1961 where 3 of the beings realized that they were being secretly filmed by a hidden device, which was considered a violation of their agreement. There was a treaty that stipulated that photographs and filming of the entities would not be allowed unless specific permission was given. While these 2 clips are the most well-known and widely available, there were allegedly other clips that have since been taken down, such as that of the alien spacecraft and another of an autopsy being performed on a dead specimen at the base. I will admit there have been many assumptions that this footage was faked, but let's review the evidence here. The budget to pull off this sort of high-quality costuming and filming would have been over $250,000 alone, and no one has claimed responsibility or tried to monetize the footage in any way. Many CGI experts and those in movie industry, have studied the footage, and most agree that if fake, it's the work of a studio with a big budget. Number 3, the tales of Edgar Mitchel. Edgar was an Apollo astronaut who passed away in 2018 at the age of 85 and had many theories about aliens that he often shared with the public. He believed aliens are real and UFOs from extraterrestrials have visited us before, publicly stating that he thought there was a cover-up involving aliens and their visits to Earth. As the 6th man to walk the moon and a NASA astronaut, his theories and beliefs were among the most credible of UFO believers. Not only was Edgar an astronaut, but he was also a test pilot for the Navy, had an MS in aeronautical engineering, and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1970. Part of his belief in alien life stemmed from experiences he had returning to Earth from the moon, where he felt more connected with the universe than he ever had before. Edgar has said publicly that he's 90% sure that many of the unidentified flying objects recorded since the 1940s belong to aliens from other planets. When he started speaking out in around the 1990s, he said he was only then coming out with his knowledge because he didn't want to be labeled a UFO crank, and stood by his beliefs no matter how much he was criticized. Which, I get it. In an interview in 1996, Edgar said that there were alien bodies at Roswell, but the government covered it up. In 1998, he called on Washington, D.C. to acknowledge publicly what it knew about alien life. He said he had witnesses he knew personally from intelligence agencies and the military who convinced him the U.S. government had been covering up UFOs for 50 years, including evidence from Roswell. In 2008, he was interviewed and spoke about how the Roswell crash was real and aliens had contacted humans multiple times. Interestingly, Edgar's beliefs were in line with those of Philip James Corso, who was chief of U.S. Counterintelligence Corp in Rome in the 1940s and chief of the Pentagon's Foreign Technology Desk in the 1960s. He even wrote a book, The Day After Roswell, where he said that he moved alien artifacts from the Roswell crash, which were later reverse engineered to develop some of our more advanced technology. In an interview in 1996, Edgar said he had met with officials from three other countries who had personal encounters with aliens from other planets, not just secondhand information. The evidence of alien contact was strong and classified, including that extraterrestrials were giving technology to the US government. In 2004, Edgar said that the government was studying alien bodies, but stopped sharing that information with presidents after John F. Kennedy. During a radio interview, he said that aliens were far more advanced than us, and we would have been gone a long time ago if they were hostile. Well, a witness doesn't really get more credible than that. Number 2, Roswell. Look, whether you like it or not, Roswell is easily the most popular and controversial alien and UFO spotting to this day, and there is so much lore around it to not mention it consistently. Former CIA agent Oscar Wayne Wolf claims he saw both living aliens, retrieved parts, and remains of alien ships throughout his career. Where have I said this before? The agent made these shocking claims about the infamous Area 51, claiming he caught a glimpse of an extraterrestrial spacecraft and a living alien. The 77-year-old man was speaking to UFO researcher Richard Dolan, but concerned about giving up his true identity at the time, went by the anonymous, which I get. After the agent made his claims, it was then shared at the Citizens Hearing on Disclosure held at the National Press Club in Washington in 2013. The agent is understood to have used a fake name throughout his career in the CIA, so the chances of his real name having been used in the account were never super high. He worked for the CIA between 1957 and 1960, where he spent time in a military base in the southeast US where they analyzed physical evidence. In 2013, fearing he might soon pass away, the anonymous came forward for one more conversation, this time with Richard Dolan. He claims that he was taken into Area 51 to look at items allegedly found and retrieved by the US government. He also claimed among them was a flying saucer that crashed and landed in July of 1947 in, you guessed it, Roswell, New Mexico. He stated there were live aliens there and that he was taken to the S4 facility in Area 51. In his statement, he described seeing different saucer crafts in the facility, with the first place he visited holding the Roswell craft, and it was kind of crashed up, but apparently every alien that was in it died except for a few. The Roswell craft was really strange because it looked like really heavy aluminum foil. At S4, he viewed the autopsy film, where the colonel on screen said, "What we've got here is we're interviewing a gray alien." Now, the anonymous had no idea he was going to see the film, saying the alien didn't look human as far as the skin tone and basically the shape of it and the size of its head compared with a normal human. Following the interview, he was warned by the CIA not to conduct any further interviews or disclosures. Well, once again, if you never see me again, you know why. Number 1, Russian soccer players. Another Russian spotting. Interesting. On September 27th of 1989 in Voronezh, Russia, several young folks claimed to have seen a 9-foot-tall, 3-eyed alien with a robot escort. This case was reported in the United States by the St. Louis Dispatch, and it was originally published on October 11th in the US, but its origin was the Russian newspaper TASS. The original details of the case were brought forward by Zhenrik Silanov, head of the Voronezh Geophysical Laboratory, who gave the details to the TASS agency. Silanov stated that the media took an enormous amount of creative freedom with his report. The agency had informed the entire world that Russian scientists had confirmed that an alien spaceship carrying giants with tiny heads had landed in Voronezh, a city of over 800,000 people located around 300 miles southeast of Moscow. They stated that as many as 3 of these giant creatures had emerged from the alien ship, and the ship was described as a large shining ball. These creatures were said to have walked in a nearby park accompanied by a menacing robot. The task Press accounts stated that the UFO landed in Voronezh on September 27, 1989 at 6:30 p.m. Young boys playing soccer witnessed the event, stating that a pinkish glow preceded the descent of the unusual flying craft, becoming a deep red as it touched down, and most witnesses described the object as a flattened sort of disc shape. A crowd quickly gathered, no kidding, and peered through a hatch that opened, which is when they saw a three-eyed alien about 10 feet tall, clad in silvery overalls and bronze-colored boots and wearing a disc on his chest. Now, the account also stated that a boy screamed with fear, but when the alien gazed at him, with eyes shining, he fell silent and unable to move. Onlookers screamed, and the UFO and the creatures disappeared. And according to the report, about 5 minutes later, they came back. The alien held a tube about 20 inches long, which it pointed at an unidentified 16-year-old boy, making him disappear. The alien went inside the sphere, which then took off, and at the same time the boy reappeared. Eyewitnesses had been questioned by police workers and journalists, and there were no discrepancies in the description of the sphere itself or the actions of the aliens. Now, TASS listed the 3 witnesses' names, all of them were youngsters, and stated that a group of international researchers would be investigating the claims of the witnesses. Residents interviewed later claimed they'd observed this UFO not just during the above incident, but also many times on September 21st, 23rd, 29th, and October 2nd, all between 6 to 9 p.m. And this all remains an unsolved mystery. And that brings us to the end of our time, and I'm kinda good on alien knowledge for the day. Once again, if you never see me again, that means the government has decided I know too much, and I feel like that could happen at any day now at the rate I'm going at. If y'all enjoyed my ramblings today, could you help us out by giving this video a like, subscribing if you weren't already, hit the bell for more alien info from us here at Top 5 Scary Videos, and I'll see y'all next time, you lovely spooky people. Former CIA agent Oscar Wayne Wolf